Okay. All right, I believe we are live. Hello, welcome, my homeschool village. Welcome to our webinar this week. We are going to have so much fun for the next 3 days. I'm going to show you some very exciting things and some inspiration I've received over this weekend. I've been praying hard for you guys as homeschool moms. I take very seriously the fact that you come to listen to me, and I pray very hard to know exactly what I should say and how I can help in any way. And I'm so glad to see you guys here this morning. I know it's Monday, it's early, it's 7 a.m. at my house right now. Let's just make sure, are we able to hear? Oh, hello, my friends. Dice hello, buenos días. Bienvenidos, si hablan español también. Welcome. Yes, this is recorded. We will have it posted here in Mighty Networks where you guys can come back and watch this anytime. The next 3 days, we're going to talk about basically the basics of what you need for successful homeschooling. And if you get these down, your life will be so much easier. It will be more inspired filled. It will feel like homeschooling. It becomes more natural. Life will just we're going to make your homeschooling life so much better. All right. So I take it our audio's good. Our video's good. So yes, let's get started. Okay. Good morning to all of you, my friends. Thank you for being here. So here's what we're going to talk about today, and I hope you'll forgive me. I mean, please, we will do questions, answers. We're going to save that to the very end. You're welcome to post them here, but just know that I will come in and answer any questions that you have at the end of this. But I feel like this message is really, really important, as I've been praying all weekend for you and what I should say today. I had 3 things come to mind for today. We're going to talk about your why, homeschooling and your why, knowing your why. And this is something that I have found over the last 20 years. I have to go back to often, because whenever I feel off kilter, off center, when I feel like our homeschooling isn't working anymore and there's just kind of an itchiness to it all, I found that I've lost our why. We've forgotten why we homeschool and what our purpose is. And so we have to redefine, and then we have to make sure that our programs fit that why. And then we feel like it becomes more peaceful again. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Knowing your why. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation as we go along here. We are going to do a giveaway at the end of this, so make sure you stick around to the end. We will have a giveaway at the end. If you are here today, you do get your name in a drawing for 1 year of my Homeschool Villages program for free. So let me know. You're welcome to let us know in the comments. I just got to make sure I have a message over there. Oh, sorry, guys. My husband updated my system this week and I have too many screens and I'm still figuring it out. All right. Okay. First of all, welcome. July 15th. This is the beginning-ish of our homeschool for the next year. Please know that this is no pressure to get started right away. If you need another month or 2, take it. It's okay. But let's talk about why. Okay. Why do we homeschool as moms? And each of us have our own individual. And I'm going to talk to you about, okay, let's talk about what are some of the whys we homeschool. Number 1, we might homeschool because we just don't want our kids in the public school system, right? That's a great why. Why, or I think a lot of us start out as, I just don't want them in there, so I'm going to bring them home. And that's a good why, but it's not enough to get you through the rough years. So some of you might have a why of, I want my kids to stop being bullied in school. You know, it's kind of a fear-based why. Great reason to get started, not going to keep you there. So we're going to discuss the whys that keep you centered in homeschooling, that keep you going, that help you to feel complete as a mother, because sometimes homeschooling and motherhood can make you feel even more depleted than regular motherhood. And so we're going to talk to you about how to make it all feel better. So Number one, you might be homeschooling in order to just keep your kids from the public school system and the trash that's out there. Great reason. Now, if that's the only reason you're homeschooling and you're looking for a curriculum this year, it really doesn't matter what you use. Everything's better than the public school system. In my opinion, not everything. There are a few programs out there I'm not a big fan of. However, what you use to homeschool you could just use the library and you'd be fine. Now, if you are homeschooling because you want to be able to teach your children more than what the public school system does, say life skills, right? Cooking and sewing and homesteading, gardening, canning, all that kind of stuff, because you want more life skills involved, you need to get My Homeschool Villages, because we offer all of that. It's all in there. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll show you where it is. But the real reason I homeschool, and this is something that it took me a while to realize, and I don't know if this is your why, but this is my why. And I'm going to talk about my why because I'm hoping that I think that most of you are in this spot. Okay. 3 reasons I homeschool. Number one, I want my children to have a relationship with God. Number one, we use the day to help them and focus on that relationship with God. Number one. Okay. Number 2 is family relationships. I want us to be close. I want to be their best friend. I want them to be mine. I want us to be each other's biggest cheerleaders and teammates for life. And so number 2 is family relationship build. Number 3 is so that my children can develop their own talents and gifts. Now, if they know who they are because they have a relationship with God and they have a strong foundation because they have a great relationship with their family members. Oh, can you still see me? Sorry, my dog just ripped a cord out. Then your number 3 is going to be to help your children become who they are and what God would have them to be. And they have to be able to have some freedom in there to be able to figure out who that is. What am I good at? What do I enjoy? What am I bad at? What do I need to strengthen? And those are things we do. Now, notice, none of those whys had anything to do with English, reading, writing, math, a specific knowledge subject at school. We'd include those, but those are this small compared to the rest of what we're doing here. So let's break this down a little bit, okay? Number 1, how do you help your children build a relationship with God? Number 1, you need one. You've got to be building yours on a daily basis so that you can then guide them along. Now, what I have found is as long as I'm working on it, my children often surpass me spiritually. But we started the foundation, my husband and I, and my kids have taken it to the next level, and their understanding of God and their private relationship with him has taught me even more how much better I can do. Now, how do you help build those things? You're going to be doing scripture reading of some sort every day. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be 5 minutes. But the point is that every day you're letting God in. You're showing, you're praying, you're reading scriptures with your kids, but you're also helping your children understand that God cares what math they're learning, that God cares that they can read, that the reason we learn is to become more like God. It's not about, I got to learn math. If your child understands that reading, writing, and math is about becoming more like God, they will work harder for you because there's a bigger purpose in the learning that they're doing. Number 2, if you are building on homeschool or family relationships, okay, if you have a subject that's getting in the way, that's making you and your kid fight, time to get rid of that subject or program or whatever it is you're working on and find something that will work, because it's about the relationship. There were times in our homeschooling time and life where I realized I was shoving something down my kid's throat and they were starting to be very angry about it. And I was getting angry about it because they wouldn't do what I had planned. And I realized it was hurting our relationship. And that's when I had to let go of some of my preconceived notions of what homeschooling should be, because it was getting in the way of our relationships. And sometimes it was getting in the way of them finding out who they were, what they could do with their lives, because I had an agenda, but my agenda wasn't necessarily where they needed to be. And you have to let go of that agenda. So let's talk a little bit. Oh, Ashley, thank you so much. Ashley says she resonates so much here, and she's only in first grade. It's okay. This is, I think, where the biggest struggle is in those early years because you feel this pressure when you first start homeschooling. And it's really hard not to listen to the world telling you what should and should not be. And when you figure out these whys, okay, you if you want if your three whys are my three whys, these three whys, we're building a relationship with God, we're building family relationships, and we're helping our children discover who they are and what their talents are to offer this world, and then to show them how to use them, right? So those three things, if your three whys are my three whys, give me a thumbs up on here. I want to know how many of you have those same three whys, or you're welcome to take them if you haven't up until now and you're looking for your whys. These are, if you stick with these three whys, you guys, it doesn't matter what the world says, you move forward. Apologize. There we go. Okay, that's my daughter from Peru trying to call in. She'll go call her daddy. Um, um, okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to tell her. Okay. Um, Sorry for that. I forgot to tell her not to call right now, and she'll call her now. Thank you, Lori, our foundations. So if you're building off these three foundations, here's what you're going to do. Number one, when you're picking a curriculum, you're going to be very careful that it's not something that over controls your children. You're going to be careful that it does not lead you away from God or that it gets in the way of your family relationships. And you will find that curriculums can do that because they put on, some of them are so pressure on what needs to be done and when and how much, that sometimes you can get so caught up in finishing a particular lesson, a particular chapter, a particular topic, and forget to see the child you're working with. And so you have to be very careful with the curriculums that you choose, that it will support this. Number two, you want to make sure that you have the right activities. So the world right now is very much into get your children scheduled, right? I have family members whose 8 and 9 year old children have more stressful days. Sorry, my daughter's sending me messages, throwing me off. Than I do or could handle. Ask yourself before you sign your child up for, say, soccer. Does this support our 3 why rule? Does it lead my child closer to God? Does it benefit the family? Is this going to be something that we can all do together and strengthen each other with? Or is this something that gets in the way of our family time? And is this something that really does help my child's talents and interests? Or am I just going along with the world and trying to decide what the world's telling me? All children should be in soccer. I still don't understand where that came from. Having children who are not athletes, when we are not big into these sports, just because we're a little klutzy. And so we have found other interests, but there have been times when we have overscheduled ourselves and our children and have realized that it was actually pulling us apart in pieces. And we had to stop, pull back and go, okay, do these programs support our 3 why message? Does it support their relationship with God? Does it support our family strength? And does it support their talents? Or are we just going along with the world? And we have to constantly check ourselves. We do this check every 6 months, you guys. It's been 20 something years, and we're still checking this every 6 months. Now, if you would like this, write these 3 things down. If you want a PDF of this written down for you that you can print out, put on your wall, I will make you one tonight and I will have it ready for tomorrow morning. We'll have those ready to go out as soon as you want them. I realized as I was praying and thinking about this that I needed to have this written down for me as well as for you. And if you want this, just give me a little thumbs up there. We will be tomorrow, we'll give you an opportunity to get that PDF. Okay. M3. Okay. The 3 whys, guys, the why we do this. And one of the things, it's interesting, my daughter the other day, she was in a youth group and she was really struggling, had a little bit of attitude about it. And we discussed it. And I'm like, where are you getting this attitude from? Why are you struggling so much with these leaders that are just there trying to help you? And she said, Mom, they don't let us think on our own. They expect us to not be able to think. She's like, and you taught us to go to God about our math problems. She's like, you taught us how to, when we would struggle, you gave us complete control, not complete control, but I'm glad she felt this way. She's like, we got to pick how we learned what we learned. And now we go to places where adults treat us like we can't think. And I don't want to go where people treat me like I can't think. And a light bulb went on. I thought, I've always wanted him to be independent. I've always wanted him to be able to have a relationship with God. I've always wanted, right, these three whys. This is what we've always worked on. And as they're getting out into the world now, they're seeing people who don't allow the thought, who don't allow them to go to God first, who don't expect much of them, and they get frustrated and they go and find the areas where people allow them to grow and give them room to be who they are. And I thought, that is beautiful. Notice none of this has anything to do with which curriculum we used, which math we used, which science we used. Those things aren't what's important. What's important is that you're teaching your children to go to God when they're stuck. So you teach them. How do you teach them to go to God for things? When they're like, Mom, I just don't understand this math problem. All right. The question you then ask them is, who does understand this math problem? Who created the math problem in the first place? Well, Heavenly Father did. Awesome. Go ask him how to fix it. And they would pray. And sometimes they would get inspiration on, okay, Mom, I think we need to check out a YouTube channel or Khan Academy, or maybe they just go, oh my gosh, Mom, I get it. And I would watch a light turn on in their eyes as God would teach them concepts. It's not because I didn't know how to teach them or didn't want to. It's because I wanted them to know where to go for their answers. So they would go to him for their answers and come back and be like, oh, Mom, it clicked. I get it now. Heavenly Father answered my prayer. They've had that through finding friends when they would get lonely. Heavenly Father answered my prayer, brought me a friend, Mom. They learned to pray about getting their rooms cleaned. Mom, I just knew something wasn't right, and I was praying and I felt I needed to clean my room. They learned to understand his voice, and my children know his voice and follow it. Now, if your children can hear God's voice, he will teach them. He will give them what they need. He gives them the desire to learn more, to dive in deeper, to go, oh my gosh, this is kind of my thing. I need to go into this. And those are things that God will do for you. And if they have a strong relationship with their family, they're going to have the confidence to go after those things that God is inspiring them to do. My job as a parent and as a family is to help my child follow the inspiration God gave them. My job is to give them whatever tools they felt inspired they needed. So I go to them and say, it's not my job to say, this is what you're going to learn, sit down and learn it. My job is to say, all right, what do you feel is the right thing to do here? Now, granted, this is for the older children. Younger kids, I'm still telling them what to do. Under the age of 8, I'm telling them what to do and then teaching them to slowly break off and be able to do this on their own. And that's a whole nother lesson. So we're doing our 3 things. 3 whys, guys. What is it? Because a relationship with God, a stronger family, and for them to be able to build their own talents, discover and develop their own talents and interests. And that's where they become passionate leaders in the world. And that's why those are my 3 whys. If your whys are outside of that, awesome. I'd love to hear what those are. Those are the 3 whys that my homeschool village is built on. This is what we are here to help you do. Those 3 things. Yes, we have a curriculum that can help you do it. Yes, we have other programs. We have unit studies. We have all the tools you need. But the real purpose of my homeschool village is to help you with those 3 things: a relationship with God, strengthen your family, and to help your children find their talents. Our motto, hay poder aprender. We've got to talk. Yes, there is power in learning, and it's spiritual power. God is knowledge. God is all things great and glorious, and he will inspire our children to be much greater than we can possibly understand. I watch my children and I think, oh my gosh, Lord, thank you. Thank you for filling in my holes. Thank you for knowing what they need. They are going in directions I would have never guessed, and quite frankly, better than I had the ability to imagine. And I'm grateful that God has taken my children by hand, has led them through their own education, is still inspiring and educating them as they're adults. And I love watching what he does. They are my best friends now. My children are my absolute best friends, and we are currently building our future around being with our adult children forever. Our adult children want to live near us, and so that we can continue to be a team. And this is what families were always meant to be. Okay, questions. We got about 10 minutes left. We got questions. Were we going to bring in Lori today or another day? I can't remember. I'm just making a quick. All right. Hey, we got Donna and Stephanie and Danielle Castillo. Hi, Yolanda and Alita and Lori and Ray and David and Beth and Lizzie and Nicole. Oh my gosh, guys, welcome. Hey, Trish, Stephanie, Hannah, Ashley, and Brita. I always want to say it. I know it's Brita. So glad you guys are here with me today. Thank you. And those of you on YouTube and Instagram, I cannot see your messages, but I'm so glad you're here today. So come on, Brita. It's because it just looks like it should be European. All right, welcome. So questions. Do you have any questions about how to do this? How we can better follow our children's interests in helping them to gain their talents. You know, my kids had talents I would have never guessed one of my children would have, because I forgot they're half their dad, you know. Mechanical and artistic, language. I have one daughter who's very good at multiple languages. I have a son who is terrible at languages, but is so brilliant when it comes to building and taking apart things. So, and I know you guys do too. I know you have children with diverse abilities. How do you keep up with it all? Oh, Trish, wonderful question. How do you address the rebellious spirit in preteen teenagers? Oh, Trish, I love this question. And, you know, I will be honest, this is a little tough, because here's my philosophy on this. Okay. And you can take it or leave it, but this is what I believe. I believe that I believe in righteous rebellion. Okay. Let me explain this a little bit. I know the world's like, I know kind of in a Christian world, the word rebellious can take on a bad connotation. However, I do believe that in these latter days, this time that we are in right now, God has created extremely strong spirits. They have to have a bit of a rebellion in them to be able to get through this world. And so what you're going to do is help them rebel against the right things. Okay, rebel against evil, rebel against tyranny, rebel against unkindness, rebel against cruelty, right? So your children, as they're rebelling against you in those teenage years, the key is to, number one, don't fight. I'm on teenager number 5, you guys, and some days they're just flat out rebellious, and it's like, hey, when you're ready to talk, or I back off. I'm not going to be your punching bag. But I do believe that you can show them where to put it. They need a passion. They need a purpose. And right now, going against you is that purpose and passion. And what they're doing is they're literally testing their rebellion skills that they want to use against the world, but they're not sure where to put them yet. So you can have those discussions. Look, I understand you want to do this yourself, right? Give me a solution. This is one of the things I ask or challenge my teenagers with a lot. You want to rebel against it? You don't like what I'm thinking here? Give me a solution. Negotiate with me. And it takes a lot of humility on my part, but I do challenge my kids. Fine. What's your solution here? If this isn't working, then you have to solve it. If you're not going to solve it, then you have to do my way. And we have that conversation often and over with all of my children. And so it's not about snuffing out the rebellious spirit. It's about guiding it to the right places to rebel. My kids and I tell my kids, if we ever had a Hitler coming around this country, I want y'all to be rebels. We are going anti-government at that point. You know, there's a point where you have to become like the founding fathers. They were rebels, and had it not all worked, they would have been hung. They were breaking the law. We teach our children when it's okay to stand up, when you need to sit down. And this is the stage, this teenage stage, where you have that conversation, and ideally, you are giving your children credit for their brilliance. Give them credit for their brilliance and their desire, and then help them find a place to put it. I hope that helps. Yolanda, I do know how to encourage my oldest to do what he wants without giving up on it so quickly. I encourage. Sorry, Yolanda, there's a few typos in there, and I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're saying there. Okay. Okay. Lori, got it. All right. How do I encourage my oldest to do what he wants without giving up on it so quickly? Ooh, that's a good one. How old is this oldest, Yolanda? This will change my answer on exactly how that is. Is he 18 or is he 12? Tell me how old your oldest is. Hannah, I try to encourage rebellion as long as it is done with the right spirit. I feel like homeschool parents, we are rebellious. Hannah, I couldn't agree more. I agree. There's a certain level of rebellion we have to keep going. There's a fight in us. And I believe it was born of God. There is a spiritual fight. Spiritual beings who are on God's side can't help but have fight in them. And it's a righteous fight. We are here to fight for righteousness and goodness in his cause. We're not here to be passive. We're not here to just be like, well, whatever. I believe in being kind and generous, to all people. But if you're going to be on the side of evil, I am going to do everything I can to not offend God, even if that means offending others. As long as I haven't offended God in my actions, offending others might come with the territory. Jesus himself offended others. He did. He still does. I'm on his side. Yolanda, he's 15. Okay, Yolanda, first of all 15-year-olds across the board do this. Okay, I have not had a 15-year-old yet. Whenever I hear that, I would honestly say over the last 5 years, anytime somebody asks me about their teenager not fulfilling, not sticking it out, not what, just kind of this really rough stage, they're always 15. They're always 15. I'm not even kidding you. 14 to 16 for both boys and girls is a rough stage. They're tired. They need more sleep. You need to make sure they're getting all the protein you can stuff down their little bodies and less sugar. And then you literally wait it out. And I'm sorry, but this is literally the best advice I could possibly give you. A 15-year-old is not old enough to stick it out. They haven't grown up enough yet. And they're still babies. They still want to be that kid. They still are watching their younger siblings going, well, I want to do what they're doing. But they have a need to be older. And because they're stuck in the middle of this, they go back and forth. One day they're going to want to be treated like an adult. And the next day they want to be treated like a kid. And so we had a conversation with our kids. Look, we get this. This is what teenager is. One day you want to be a kid. One day you want to be an adult. So we need to communicate that. Because some days I'm going to treat you like an adult when that's not going to work for you. And you're going to get mad at me and then we're going to have a rebellion. And so we would have a thing that said, hey, mom, today I'm a kid. Okay, today you're a kid. But that means I treat you like a kid. And some days my daughter will say, mom, I want to be an adult today. Okay, then here are your adult responsibilities. And here's what, and we've had to have that conversation, have a keyword, have something that allows your child to do the switch back. Because eventually they'll start doing more and more adult. And eventually the kid will only show up once in a while when you're playing, and that adult will slowly take over. But you're in the stage where they're going back and forth from kid to adult. It frustrates you, it frustrates them, because guaranteed the day they want to be a kid, you're treating them like an adult. And the day they want to be an adult, you're treating them like a kid, and it makes them mad, and you can't win. So you go and you tell your child, are we on adult day or kid day? Okay. And usually it'll depend on the job you have for them. And some days, you just have the conversation. And they'll feel less frustration because they'll see that you get it. You'll both get along a lot better. I hope that helps. Laura says it's okay to ask questions as they grow older. Yes, with the right spirit. When they're little, under 6, there's a little wiggle room for disobedience. Sometimes as parents, there's no time to explain, just obey. I agree with that 100%, Lori. I am a strict parent on the younger children. I am very strict parent. You will do it like this because I want them trained right. And as they get older, we let go. As they get older, we give them more and more opportunity to choose. When they're little, they might get to choose, are you wearing the blue pants or the black pants, but that's all they're choosing. When they get a little older, it's about, okay, you're learning math. Do you want to learn it this way or this way? When they turn into teenagers, it's about who do you want to be and what do I need to help you find so you can get there? And I believe that a child needs strict parents who set good boundaries in the early years before the age of 10. They need those boundaries. They crave those boundaries. A child who is misbehaving because they don't have good boundaries. So you've got to have strict boundaries on the early decade so that the last decade that you have them at home, they have that foundation where they feel secure, and now you can give them the freedom that they need to be who they need to be. Beth says, we are going through this with our youngest, who is almost 10. Public school looks so intriguing to him, and he is adamant he wants to go. The grass looks so much greener on the playground at school than it does here. Oh, isn't that the truth? And you know what I have done when my children really fought me on it? I was like, fine, go. I never, and there was a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, what if they prefer that? And I have found that I have allowed each of my children at some point to taste public school. And without a doubt, every one of them has come back and gone, oh my gosh, what a waste of time. I had my kindergartner, when she's now 15, but when she started, she's like, Mom, I want to go to kindergarten like my friends. It looks amazing. I'm like, all right, but you're staying until Christmas. We put her in September, and by Christmas, she was so done. She's like, Mom, I'm so past this. And she was 5, and she knew she was past this. I had other children who decided to try it in their teen years, and we let them go. And you know what? And I was like, but you're staying a semester. You're going to stick it out if you're going to be there. And after that semester, they were so done. And they always came back and said, Mom, it's a waste of time. I can't learn. The kids are mean, and they were just like, no, thanks. Let them try it. I can't imagine they would like it better than what you got. Britta says, me too. My son just wanted to play like he did in preschool. He hated the structure of it. Yeah. I think once children, I think it's important that kids get a chance to try it. They need to know what they're missing out on. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right, Beth? Yep. Put him in until Christmas and reassess. And now I don't know if we actually made it all the way till Christmas with my kindergartner at the time, because I do remember after about 2 months, her behavior was getting off. She was becoming anti-mom. She started having these attitudes that were anti-family, anti-everything. And I thought, oh no, we are not. And when she was ready, I was ready. And I was like, yeah, we're not sticking out till December, because this is like making you go downhill. We don't need to do that. So we pulled her. But I'm just saying, you can do that, right? And then, and assess with your child. How do you feel today? How did school go? What do you think was different than being at home? Have a conversation. I have found that most of the issues that we have in homeschooling in our homes really is just a lack of a conversation. We've got to be open with our kids. All right, questions. I promise to keep this short. I know you're busy moms. We are not here to spend forever. We can talk more about this. Yes, communication is key, Lori. Amen. I will get you our 3Y PDF that you can have. I'm going to put that together for you today, and we'll hand that out tomorrow. So make sure you get here tomorrow. If you cannot be here, we will record these and put these inside the community, just right inside here. I'm not sure how it'll be titled. We'll let you know how it all works, but everything's recorded. We will be back here tomorrow morning at same time for a quick 30 minutes. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is the how. Okay, the scheduling. What does a homeschool schedule look like when you're putting God first and your family and your child's interests? What does that look like? Is that an unschool? Is that as well structured? Exactly what that looks like. I'm going to give you a play-by-play on what a day in the life looks like for a homeschool mom with these 3 Ys. Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow. Make sure you're here. And then Heather's sending me a quick message because I'm missing something. You guys know Heather keeps my brain going. I'm missing something. Let's find out what I'm missing here. We're drawing a name. We are drawing a name today for Free Social Club. Today we're giving away the Free Social Club. So we're going to draw a name for somebody who gets to have, is it a full year, Heather? Hi, Christine. Welcome. So good to have your face. Well, it's not your face. I wish it was your face. Your cute name pop up there. Love it. Okay, so we're going to draw a name today for the Free Social Club in all our networks. If you showed up today, your name can be in the drawing, but hopefully you put your name on there. You got to make sure your name's up so we can see it. And we're going to do a drawing for our social club. Now, just a quick explanation. If you don't know what our social club is, it is a place where our homeschooled kids are hanging out. Okay, we are doing Minecraft 3 days a week where our kids get on and play together. There are book clubs. We've got an art club. We've got all kinds of fun social activities going on. I actually did the math on this the other day. If your children attended everything we provided, That's 10 hours a week, you guys, 10 hours a week to yourself. So for 10 hours a week, we will entertain, educate your children online on Zoom while you get to do something else. So 10 hours a week, that's 40 hours a month that we will take over some homeschooling for you, and your children get to meet friends online. My son has made some great friends online. It's been so fun. And so the social network normally is $25 a month per child, but the name that Heather is drawing right now is about to receive a free year. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being such the amazing, great homeschool moms that you are. If you want a free year of Social Club, you need to comment yay. That is Y-A-Y. Comment yay if you would like a free year of our Social Club, you guys. Let's see who would love one of those. Okay, make sure. So all of you, we've got you here in Mighty Networks. We're also on our, it's got to be yay, Kelly Cahill. Hi, Kelly. Make sure you're saying yay. Yay, Y-A-Y. Sorry, I was just teasing a little bit there, Kelly. We understood what you're after. Comment yay if you want a free year of our social network. That's a $250, actually $300 value. And that is 12 months, guys. That's not a 9-month like school year. We don't do school year here. We do full year, as in 12 months. Okay. Donna Long, you're the winner. Heather is pulling them out. She put everybody's name in a little thing, does a spinner and pulls it out for me so I can announce it. Donna, congratulations. You have won 1 year of our social network for your children, or for one child, her family. How many kids do you have, Donna? Congrats. Yep. How many kids do you have? You got to let us know. We got to get them all in. So we will be sending just the one. Okay. How old? So happy to have you in here, Donna. Welcome. We will send you a message here in Mighty Networks. So 16. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, we will get you a message inside Mighty Networks in here because you're in here. Okay, watch for that message and we'll get that to you. And we'll have a little, yeah. Okay, guys, we will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Well, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I know for you Pacific Coasters, it's dang early. And so we will record it and put it in the group for you so you can get in here. In the meantime, remember your 3 whys were God first, family second, individual development of your child third. I will get that to you tomorrow. Make sure you show up. And thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Glad you liked it, Beth. Thanks. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for being here, you guys. You're amazing. Appreciate all of you. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.